Hey everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping with Natalie, or welcome to if you are new. Today we're going to be checking the pollen patties that I put on like 1 or 2 weeks ago, I think it was. I don't remember the exact date. Since then we've had, I don't know if we've had any snow. We might have had like a little bit, and we've had quite a bit of rain. It's been super muddy here. So we're just going to check them, see how they're doing, and they're definitely out flying. I don't know if you can hear it or see them all over the camera, but they're out today, which is great. I've also been condensing them down, so I've been shaking bees, and it's not their favorite thing. It's not my favorite thing either. So there's bees everywhere, and yeah. So we're probably not going to condense these ones down. Like, I might end up condensing these down. I don't know. I haven't checked this one, but we're going to check this single. That way I don't have to lift any boxes on video to try and find the brood. I was going to do that on one of them, and then I realized that I didn't really want to lift a box on camera because it's not the prettiest thing. So I'm going to give them a little bit of smoke. I put these pollen patties on towards the end of the day. It was getting late and the bees weren't super happy with me at that point, so I was kind of just slapping them on, hoping for the best, which isn't always the best idea. Sometimes you just want to come back the next day instead of rushing it. So hopefully I've put the pollen patty in the right spot and everything. We want to make sure that it's right above the brood. So I'm going to move the pollen patty to wherever the brood is, if it's not already in the spot that it needs to be. So it looks like I gave them a hole. I don't know if they needed a hole, but we're going to check to see. They should all be brooding up. If they're not, definitely maybe something's going on in there. I've checked a few that look amazing. They've got 2 deeps just packed full. And I've also checked some that are queenless. And then a couple of them, we have some dead outs just because we're really starting to come out of winter and we're starting to find those hives that didn't make it through winter. I've only found like 1 or 2, which is great. That's what we want to see. I'm actually like a little bit surprised at how well I've seen the bees doing so far. These pollen patties are kind of annoying because some of them have melted a little bit and they're hard to move. Looks like they're eating it a little bit. Not a whole lot, but they're getting to it. I've checked some that are just like, it's 50-50 with these. Some of them are taking them, some of them aren't. Again, it might just be where I place them though. I'm gonna pull this outside frame out first. That way I don't smush any bees in the middle, especially if the queen is on there. So far I've been able to find a decent amount of queens. I found one who was laying while I pulled her out, which is always fun to see. It's just exciting to see the queen no matter how many times I've seen her. There's an okay amount of bees in here. They could of course be stronger, but at least they're still here. So I'm just going to pull this frame out, check to see if they have any brood, and if they do, I'm just going to put the pollen patty back on and move on to the next hive. Because it doesn't look like they're going to need anything. If, like I said, if the top box is basically empty, I'm going to take that off, shake all the bees down into the bottom box, and then move on. So there's a nice small patch of brood here, and here she is. She's nice and dark. She looks great. So you can see there's a nice good patch of brood here. We've got some bees with pollen on them. I just saw her, but I can't find the bee with pollen on her. All right, so I'm done now, but because I'm like every other beekeeper, I have to check. I'd totally go ahead and check more frames because it's just exciting to see this. So we're gonna just look at one more for the video. With these kinds of things that we're doing today, they take some time when you're condensing them down. But it's going to help out the bees a lot, even though it takes a while and sometimes it's not super fun. Just a nice small patch of brood there also. It's, I think, the February like 28th or something like that. And then also down here, got some nice larvae down in there. Don't know if you can see in there or not. It's kind of hard to get the sun just right. But it's down there, so that's great. We're done here. We're gonna go ahead and put these girls back together, and then we're gonna slap the pollen patty back on right in the middle here, because that's where I found the brood. That way they can get to it quick and easy, and then I might go ahead and just check this on camera, see how they're looking, and kind of just talk about how we're gonna condense these down. I've made a video on it before. I don't know if I already mentioned that or not, but I don't know which video it was, but I have it out there, and I think I actually have a couple of them, so I didn't want to do another one just because these kinds of things take a while, and it's just like moving frames around, so there's a lot of silence, which isn't super fun to watch. So we're going to put this pollen patty on right here, and then put the lid back on. And then I'm also going to put their bucket back on top of the hole, that way no more rain gets into it or water or anything. I think we are maybe going to get some rain tomorrow. I think that's what the weather said, I'm not sure. And then I think there was another day we might get some rain. During the spring, like coming up, we have a ton of rain all the time. There's a marker over here. Another things that I've been doing, I've talked about it before, we do like to mark if there's anything going on. So some of them, if there was a queen, but I haven't seen her laying or anything, I'll mark that on the hive with just one of these markers. We have, I don't know where we got these, but they're these big, thick markers, and they write really well. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a ton of propolis. Look at all of this. Our bees produce so much propolis, and it's a good thing, but it's also gets tiring. I mean, just look at this lid. It's crazy. All right, so there's bees in here, and there's bees up top here, but these frames are like completely empty and there's nothing on them. So we are gonna condense these down today. Let's see if I can get this out. So I'll basically just take this top box off, and I'll shake pretty much all of these frames. That way I can just get all the bees down into this bottom box. I didn't say I was gonna do it on video, so that's really all we're doing today. I'm getting super excited for bee season to start. It's coming on really quick. Feels like we really didn't get that much of a break because there's so much to do in the wintertime that we said we would do and we didn't do it. So now we have no time to really do anything. I know we're going to be building some bottom boards here soon because we are pretty much completely out of bottom boards. So I'm going to continue off with this yard and just checking to see how they're doing, writing it down. And we'll be coming back in a little while to check the ones that didn't have eggs, and we'll be probably combining some hives, getting them ready for splitting, and before we know it, I think we'll be grafting queens, which is super exciting, one of my favorite things to do. We'll definitely be doing some videos on that. I know I have a series on it already, but there's always more to learn on grafting. We're going to try out some new stuff this year, I think. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching this video. Follow along for more bee adventures, and be here next time on Beekeeping with Natalie.